Welcome back. Today we're diving into a story that's not just making headlines but also fueling heated debates across the globe. Last week we analyzed a viral video that captured a tense and dramatic standoff in the South China Sea, a region already known for its high-stakes maritime disputes and strategic importance. The footage, filmed from the deck of a Philippine Coast Guard vessel, offered a rare, unfiltered look at the daily pressures and dangers faced by Filipino crews as they navigate these contested waters. For many, it was a stark reminder of the human element behind these geopolitical flashpoints. In the video, a much larger Chinese Coast Guard ship can be seen aggressively maneuvering near the smaller BRP Sindangan. The sheer size difference between the vessels was striking, and the Chinese ship's actions quickly drew global criticism, with many accusing China of intimidation and escalation. The incident didn't just stay at sea, it rapidly escalated into a diplomatic flashpoint. Newsrooms buzzed, diplomats exchanged sharp words, and the world watched as tensions rose between China and the Philippines. But as is often the case in international disputes, the story didn't end there. The aftermath would prove just as contentious as the incident itself. Just days later, Chinese state media released their own version of the encounter. This footage was carefully edited, presenting a narrative in which the Philippine vessel appeared to be the aggressor, challenging the Chinese ship's authority in the area. Beijing's official statement claimed their Coast Guard was simply conducting lawful patrols in Chinese waters when, according to them, the BRP Sindangan made a sudden and dangerous course change, leading to the near collision. This counter-narrative is a classic tactic in information warfare, muddying the waters, sowing confusion, and making it difficult for outside observers to discern the truth. Today, we'll go beyond the headlines. We'll dissect the new footage, analyze the precise movements of both ships, and cut through the propaganda to reveal what really happened on the water that day. We'll break down the aggressive maneuvers, including the controversial use of water cannons, and address the sensational claims that have dominated social media and news coverage since the incident. By placing this incident within the broader geopolitical context, we'll see that it's far from an isolated event. Instead, it's part of a much larger, ongoing struggle for influence, control, and access in one of the world's busiest and most contested maritime corridors. This story isn't just about two ships at sea, it has far-reaching implications for global trade, the interpretation of international law, and the delicate balance of regional stability in Southeast Asia. So, let's get to the facts, separate reality from rhetoric, and understand what's truly at stake in the South China Sea. Chinese state media's footage is a masterclass in selective editing. It opens with a high-angle shot from the Chinese Coast Guard ship, claiming the Philippine vessel made a sudden, unprofessional turn. The narrative China is innocent, the Philippines reckless. Omitted are the minutes where the Chinese vessel actively blocked the BRP Sindangan's path. Audio of Chinese crew issuing warnings in English is included to suggest de-escalation. But the reality is different. The Chinese ship placed itself directly in the smaller vessel's way, violating maritime rules. This is a classic use of partial truths to mislead. Beijing's goal: reassure its domestic audience and create international confusion, hoping the incident is seen as a "he said, she said." But a closer look at the evidence exposes the flaws in China's narrative. The truth is in the details they left out. To truly understand what unfolded in these tense moments, it's important to look past the dramatic editing and focus on the actual sequence of events. The real story is told not by the commentary, but by the movements of the ships themselves. Watch closely as the ships maneuver across the open sea. Every turn, every acceleration, and every change in direction is deliberate and significant. The BRP Sindangan, a Philippine Navy vessel, was carrying out a routine but vital resupply mission. Its course was steady, and its intentions clear, delivering essential supplies to a remote outpost. Suddenly, a much larger Chinese naval ship began to shadow the Sindangan, closely monitoring its every move. Then, in a calculated move, the Chinese vessel accelerated, positioning itself directly in the path of the Philippine ship, effectively blocking its way forward. The Chinese ship executed a maneuver known as shouldering, angling sharply across the Sindangan's bow. This is a high-risk tactic, often used to intimidate or force another vessel to change course. Overhead footage makes it clear. The Philippine ship maintained its course, while the Chinese vessel deliberately cut in front, leaving little room for safe navigation. The result was almost inevitable. The aggressive maneuver by the Chinese ship led directly to a collision, a dangerous and entirely avoidable incident at sea. Examining the point of impact, where the bow of the Sindangan struck the rear side of the Chinese ship, confirms that the Chinese vessel had crossed directly into its path, leaving the Philippine crew with no time to react. In that critical moment, the Filipino captain faced an impossible decision: either risk a collision or abandon the mission and turn away, potentially failing to deliver the much-needed supplies. After the impact, the Chinese ship showed little sign of distress, continuing on its way as if nothing had happened, undeterred by the dangerous encounter. Meanwhile, the lighter and smaller Sindangan was pushed off course, sustaining damage that could jeopardize its mission and the safety of its crew. This was not a random accident, but a calculated act of aggression, an attempt to assert territorial claims and intimidate the Philippine Navy through forceful tactics. Careful analysis of the video evidence supports the Philippine account, providing clear proof of the sequence of events and the deliberate nature of the Chinese ship's actions. The collision wasn't the only act of aggression in these tense waters. What unfolded was a series of calculated moves, each one escalating the situation further and pushing the boundaries of maritime conduct. Just minutes before the impact, the Chinese Coast Guard unleashed high-pressure water cannons on the BRP Sindangan, a Philippine Coast Guard vessel on a routine mission. The force and precision of these water jets were unmistakable. This was no warning shot, but a deliberate attempt to intimidate and disable. These industrial-grade cannons are capable of more than just making a splash. They can cause serious injuries to crew members, damage sensitive navigation and communication equipment, and even flood critical compartments, putting the entire vessel at risk. The psychological impact on the crew, suddenly under attack, cannot be underestimated. China claims these are non-lethal law enforcement measures, but in the unpredictable environment of the open sea, such tactics are clearly coercive. The intent is to assert dominance and force compliance without crossing the threshold into outright warfare. The water jets were aimed directly at the bridge and communications arrays, targeting the ship's nerve center. By blinding the crew and disrupting their ability to coordinate, the attackers sought to sow confusion and weaken the vessel's response. This is a textbook example of China's gray zone strategy, using forceful, aggressive actions that fall short of open conflict, all while maintaining plausible deniability on the international stage. What's especially notable is that the target was not a civilian fishing boat, but a Philippine Coast Guard vessel, an official arm of the state. This marks a significant escalation, signaling a willingness to confront government ships directly. Such actions represent a direct challenge to Philippine sovereignty, and raise the stakes in the ongoing maritime dispute in the South China Sea. The risk of miscalculation and further escalation grows with every such encounter. The international community has responded with condemnation, warning that these aggressive maneuvers not only endanger lives, but also violate established norms of safe navigation and international maritime law. The water cannon assault was not an isolated act. It was carefully coordinated with a blocking maneuver, effectively boxing in the Philippine vessel and setting the stage for the eventual collision. This sequence of hostile actions set a confrontational tone for the entire encounter, leaving both sides on edge and the region bracing for what might come next. After the collision, online speculation erupted over a dark substance seen on the Chinese ship's hull. Some claimed it was blood, fueling rumors of casualties. In reality, it was almost certainly industrial marine paint, primer, or sealant scraped off by the impact. The collision occurred on the hull's aft quarter, an area unlikely to have crew present during such maneuvers. Ship crews are trained to avoid these areas in tense situations. The dark streaks are evidence of structural damage, not human tragedy. This highlights the dangers of social media speculation and misinformation. The real cost was physical damage to the Chinese ship, a scar from its own aggressive maneuver. This collision happened amid rising military and diplomatic activity. Just weeks earlier, the Philippines and India held joint naval exercises in the South China Sea, signaling growing security partnerships. For Beijing, these drills were provocative, challenging its territorial ambitions. China prefers dealing with neighbors one-on-one, not in multilateral coalitions. The aggressive behavior of the Chinese Coast Guard was a direct response to these new alliances. By harassing a Philippine vessel after the exercises, China sent a message to Manila and its partners: it remains the dominant power in these waters. This cycle of action and reaction is raising tensions and the risk of miscalculation. The collision is a stark warning of how quickly standoffs can escalate. While China and the Philippines clashed, the U.S. Navy watched from over the horizon. A U.S. destroyer was conducting a freedom of navigation operation nearby, not a coincidence. The U.S. presence serves as a check on escalation, asserting international rights and deterring aggression. Though the destroyer didn't intervene, its proximity reminded Beijing of the U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty. An attack on a Philippine public vessel could trigger a U.S. response. The U.S. Navy's silent presence shapes actions without firing a shot. China protests these operations, calling them interference, but for Southeast Asian nations, the U.S. is a balancing force. Without U.S. support, Philippine resupply missions would be far riskier. This creates a complex three-way contest. China asserts control, the Philippines defends its rights, and the U.S. upholds the rules-based order. The collision is a microcosm of this larger struggle. This isn't just a regional dispute. The South China Sea is a global artery. 1/3 of world shipping passes through these waters, linking East Asia to the world. Any disruption would have immediate, severe economic consequences. Ironically, China's actions threaten the very trade it relies on. The conflict is also a test of international law. China rejects a 2016 tribunal ruling affirming Philippine rights. If force can override legal norms here, it sets a dangerous precedent worldwide. The freedom of navigation is the bedrock of global trade. What happens here matters to everyone. The September 2025 collision was no accident, it was a deliberate act of coercion. China's counter-narrative doesn't hold up to scrutiny. This is just one episode in a long campaign to assert dominance over the South China Sea. Each incident, water cannons, dangerous maneuvers, collisions, is part of a strategy to normalize Chinese control. Regional nations are pushing back, building alliances and capacity to resist. The U.S. Navy's presence deters escalation into open conflict. The stakes: global trade, international law, and Asia's balance of power. The outcome will shape the world for decades to come.